Things are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for the Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police escorted them out. You saw a stroller being moved.
All his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
The hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch.
Backstage tensions rose as GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach came face to face before their rematch. Davis threw verbal jabs, but Roach stayed calm and ignored him, keeping his focus on the fight. He believes his actions in the ring will speak louder than words and remains confident he'll leave with the win.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Lamont Roach has confidently dismissed the idea that GervontaDavis is the most powerful opponent he's faced. According to Roach, he's taken harder shots in previous fights and isn't intimidated by Davis's power. His calm demeanor shows a mindset shaped by experience and resilience, making it clear he won't be shaken by reputation alone.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He hard.
During their first clash, a brief lapse from GervontaDavis led him to take a knee, an unexpected moment that sparked chaos and shifted public perception. Lamont Roach's performance in that sequence elevated his status, positioning him as the first to truly push Davis to the edge. Since then, the narrative has grown stronger, with many now believing Roach could not only compete, but potentially dominate in the rematch, as he's widely seen as a legitimate threat.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same GervontaDavis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That shit burning my eyes. So
Recent footage of GervontaDavis reveals a transformed fighter, physically sharper and mentally dialed in. His noticeably increased strength, combined with a confident online message, signals that he's not just training harder, but is fully locked into a mindset of domination. The energy around him has electrified supporters, many of whom are anticipating a powerful comeback. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. praised Davis's explosive style, emphasizing his rare ability to overwhelm opponents with a blend of raw power and refined technique. While Jones admitted the fight could take unexpected turns, he remains confident that Davis's commanding ring presence will be too much to overcome and expects Tank to reassert his dominance.
Saturday night, GervontaDavis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach, but we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But then when the pro rounds take over, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet, or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in. You got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like he understands it, he gonna make it rough for anybody. But Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win.
Many believe GervontaDavis was off his game in the first fight, whether due to personal distractions or a flawed strategy. Now, with his pride on the line, Davis seems fully committed to proving his true potential. His focused training and determined statements make it clear this rematch isn't just about revenge. It's about re-establishing his dominance and silencing all doubt once and for all.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, Ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Lamont Roach's ambition for the rematch goes far beyond just winning. He's aiming for a knockout. His intense, focused training reflects a clear intent to make a powerful statement. A decisive victory over GervontaDavis wouldn't just mark the biggest win of his career, it could catapult him into boxing's elite and solidify a legacy built on skill, resilience, and unwavering determination.
That you sent him to retirement earlier.
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, if that happens in the midst of it, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie. I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been here before. Heck, the fight they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really.
Lamont Roach speaks with confidence in his preparation, claiming he possesses the complete set of skills needed for the fight. His words don't stem from arrogance, but from assurance earned through hard work and dedication. Roach believes he's fully equipped to adapt to anything GervontaDavis brings into the ring, ready for every challenge that comes his way.
Beat 30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? What makes you different?
He probably can answer that question. he probably can answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. That's evidently a power puncher. I got too much.
Greg Hackett emphasized that the stakes are equally high for both fighters, with neither holding a clear advantage. He believes the outcome will come down to absolute precision and execution. For GervontaDavis especially, Hackett stressed the importance of staying focused and disciplined every second of the fight, because in a matchup this close, there's no room for error.
Rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused GervontaDavis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking a knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. and you got to mean it. Every step got to be counted for, and he knew it. He know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia offered a thoughtful perspective, acknowledging GervontaDavis's ability to adapt and grow from past experiences. However, he emphasized that even the best tactics mean little without mental clarity. Garcia's message was blunt but clear. If Davis isn't mentally ready, he might as well not step into the ring.
You know, I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active, and then he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it turns the markets back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think
The edge.
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. And if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
But it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, fuck, let him do it. I don't know.
Kenny Ellis acknowledged Lamont Roach's visible work ethic, but cautioned against placing too much weight on training footage. In his view, the real test comes when a fighter is under pressure, when punches land, when fatigue sets in, and when instincts take over. For Ellis, it's Davis's grit and willpower in those critical moments that matter far more than anything seen in rehearsed drills.
Be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight, shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his like mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that?
In the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
But it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it. Fuck, let him do it. I don't know. Dude, I had personal stuff. A lot of fighters have issues. It's life, bro. This is our job, but life keeps going. Life continues.
You have to juggle this with life.
You have to juggle. You have to balance. And it's tough, bro. It ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. You gotta be dealing with family, with kids, with wives, with girlfriends.
You know what's crazy that I always see the same.
A second loss could deliver a serious blow to GervontaDavis's career and reputation. While a single defeat might be written off as an off night, back-to-back failures in a high-stakes rematch would raise lasting doubts about his standing among boxing's elite. Fans and analysts alike may begin to question whether Davis truly belongs at the top. His image, pride, and future opportunities are all on the line. For Davis, this rematch is about more than redemption. It's about preserving his legacy. He must deliver a decisive performance to silence the critics and reaffirm his place among the sport's best.
Is the rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the eternity on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? It's really had your mind blown, like what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just their personal opinion of the person, their history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank, if I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's to flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this.
Kenny Ellis has hinted at behind-the-scenes adjustments in GervontaDavis's camp that suggest a completely different approach this time around. Though details remain under wraps, the secrecy has only fueled anticipation. Whatever changes are being fine-tuned behind closed doors, Davis's team is confident they will play a major role in shaping the outcome, adding even more intrigue to what's already one of the most talked-about rematches in boxing today.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both at top of the game. I see a competitive fight, nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight. I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Raleigh Romero defended GervontaDavis, stating that even legends can have off nights. He argued that one flawed performance shouldn't define Davis's career or overshadow his accomplishments. In Romero's eyes, Davis remains one of boxing's top names and most feared fighters, with a legacy built on consistent dominance rather than a single setback.
That people want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Teofimo Lopez observed that after the first fight, GervontaDavis seemed isolated, with few supporters standing by him during the backlash. Lopez noted that this abandonment sparked widespread doubt about Davis's standing among boxing's elite, as critics quickly questioned his skill set and resilience, portraying him as vulnerable. For Lopez, the upcoming rematch is more than just another bout. It's Davis's chance to rewrite the narrative, regain lost respect, and re-establish his dominance. With his reputation on the line, Davis must prove that one bad night doesn't define a champion's legacy in the unforgiving world of boxing.
A lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people.
Sean Porter acknowledged GervontaDavis's skill and intelligence, praising his sharp boxing IQ and raw power. He highlighted Davis's unique ability to read opponents and adapt mid-fight, which, in Porter's view, sets him apart from many in the lightweight division. Despite the recent criticism surrounding Davis, Porter firmly believes he remains a top-tier talent who deserves respect. Writing him off, Porter warned, would be a mistake, as Davis has consistently delivered brilliant performances. With a rare blend of strategy and strength, Davis remains a dangerous force, and, according to Porter, he's far from finished.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said. You can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it. You know, so
GervontaDavis is fully locked in, pushing himself harder than ever to prove he still belongs at the top. His training sessions have reached a new level of intensity, blending raw power, speed, and refined strategy to correct the mistakes from the first fight. Davis isn't just aiming for a win. He's aiming for dominance, determined to silence every doubt. He understands that every move he makes now will shape how the world views him. With each round of preparation, Davis is showing the hunger to rise above criticism, outclass his opponent, and remind everyone why he's still one of the most dangerous and skilled fighters in the sport.
Really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he can get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. Confident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you gotta think, Tank not used to losing.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates, breakdowns, and fight insights. Until next time.